Hello, welcome back to the Care and Conversation Studio, live from the Care Show in London. We are here with another guest, Marcus. How are you doing?
I'm very well, York. How are you?
I'm okay, thank you. Yeah,
Good.
Busy day. Do you want to tell us a bit about who you are and what you do?
So my name's Marcus Wrinch. I'm the co-founder and sales director for Chat for Business, and we are a web chat specialist specifically for the care sector, essentially to convert people's website traffic into care home admissions.
So I've had multiple conversations over the past day and a half with people about the private paying market, the kind of surging of it. So there's a lot more smaller providers coming into the market that are, needing to move away from just getting their clients from local authorities. And it's a different game, right? Like it's a different ball game when you're approaching that market, and they're all going, okay, how do we do this? What do we do? So be interested to hear your sort of thoughts on, how does one have to approach the private paying market to help maximise the number of inquiries and things that they get?
So I think with all of these things, it's never just one bullet, silver bullet. There are a number of key factors, and the key factors I would look for is, first of all, pretty much everybody looks online when they're looking for a care home. People are aware of CQC, so they're going to look at your CQC report. They want to look at your website. So first of all, it's about driving that traffic to your website. Secondly, it's about having a great website, obviously with video function on it, of course.
Of course.
And then it's having great call to actions, a great chat product. Basically, you need to convert that website traffic into inquiries. And how do you do that? You need to get those inquiries talking to your team, be it through chat, be it through making a telephone call, be it through email, whatever form it is. And then it's having the ability to manage those inquiries and to follow them up. So those are the sort of key elements: driving the traffic to your website, converting the traffic at your website, and then managing. It's those three key areas. If you get those three key areas right, and you've got a great care home, and let's face it, we both work with a lot of different care home groups. Most care home providers are brilliant. They've got fantastic teams working extremely hard with the love and attention. And when they actually get to meet those teams, so it's actually getting them that website visitor to actually go and visit the care home. That's the process, really.
Yeah, that's the important part of it. So, if you're a provider that's used to working with mainly local authorities, I think one thing to consider is that the private paying market doesn't work in business hours. And that's why a product like yours is quite useful from that perspective.
So interestingly, we typically will increase people's number of private funded admission inquiries from 100 to 400%, which are huge figures. And people say, well, how on earth do you do that? You've hit the first key thing is that people are at work, they get home, and they put an hour or 2 hours aside looking for a care home for a loved one within the family. And that quite often is going to be 6 o'clock at night. During the week, or it may be at the weekends when people have got some valuable time. And the stat for us is it's around 42% of all inquiries come outside of office hours. So our chat widget actually works 24/7, 365, because you never know. We live in a far more flexible society. Go back 20 years, people work 9 to 5. Now people work, amazing hours across the spectrum. So it's really important to have those call to actions on your website, 24/7 access for people at that stage.
And things like the idea that you may be, like say my generation, millennials, don't really like using the phone. Yeah, I'm not saying that's every millennial, but I have a thing about I don't like to be tied to that element because I can do a chatbot at the same time as doing something else, and I'm quite happy. It might actually take me a bit longer. Ultimately, it might take me half an hour to have the conversation chatbot, but I can do 4 other things at the same time while I'm doing it and pop backwards and forwards between it. Do you find is that
so we do a lot of analysis in terms of traffic going into care homes, and the latest figures that we've seen is around 48% of all inquiries go through live chat. You've got around 25% going through phone, and then the rest through contact forms, emails, whatever process. So chat is huge. And why has it grown? Because you're quite right. You go back a number of years, it was nowhere near as prolific. I think the advent of COVID, people became a lot more accustomed to using chat platforms. I think with WhatsApp, etc., people are so much more comfortable. And it allows you, people have busy lives these days. You can set up a chat function and be doing something else until you get through to the right person. And one of the great things about our chat function is you're always talking to a human when you're looking to go into the care home. So important. And we're going to connect you to the home manager who's going to be able to advise you about the care home and have the diary in front of them at that stage. And I think in terms of telephone pickup within the care homes, it's never been good either. Again, because they're super busy places looking after people, and around 28% of phone calls into care homes get missed.
Yeah.
And that's 28%. There's going to be a high percentage of those are admission inquiries.
Yeah. Once upon a time, we made a video for one of our clients. It was an internal comms video, and it was basically, please answer the phone, and please be nice to people when they ring, and please take and write down the details of it. And it was a 2-minute animated video just saying, please can you pick it up, because we're mixing so many inquiries. A lot of bigger companies now centralise that function because they know the manager's maybe not the best positioned person. So it was interesting. I had a conversation yesterday with someone who's being asked a lot. He's a training provider. He's being asked a lot to provide training around sales and marketing for care home managers because they're not necessarily ready or aware of this new commercial requirement from them from that perspective.
I think there's a huge advantage in that as well, because the manager is the person that's leading that home, who's leading the team within that care home. And if you're going to be looking at taking a member of your family to that care home, to meet the manager and their team and actually start building a rapport and a relationship with them is imperative. With the greatest respect, the sort of central call centres do an excellent job, but there's nothing like meeting the manager of the care home who's leading the team that are taking care of your loved one at that stage. And I think a lot of people really do want to interact with the manager or the deputy within the care home at that stage. I think it's really valuable.
Yeah, it's important, isn't it? But yeah, I think in a lot of especially smaller groups, maybe the managers, that's something for owners to think about, is making sure the managers are correctly commercially incentivized to follow these things through, because it's not easy. If you're trying to negotiate 5 different private paying clients to move in, it's a lot of work, whereas with the local authority, you've got one big customer who basically sends people your way, and it's sort of done for you, and you don't have to spend money on marketing or things like that. So one chap I had a conversation with yesterday said he likes that element. Although he gets less money, he likes the fact that he doesn't have to faff about too much with his sales and marketing, but appreciates that he needs to have a bit of a balance in there. So I think that's important as well, right?
I think that balance between private and public fund is really important. I don't think you actually want to go 100% private. I think you need to be integrated with your community and assisting those people. But care homes essentially are businesses at the end of the day. And whilst the respect goes to the carers in terms of the work and the love that they show that their patients, they need to make money. And let's face it, government spend now is pretty tight. It's very difficult to cover your costs just by public funded clients. You have to have that mixture coming through. And I think also, if public funded clients aren't coming through, you need another stream. So you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket, like any business, I guess.
Nice. Okay. Well, thank you. I've got a final question for you, maybe 2. Toilet roll.
I always get very nervous at this stage.
Over or under? Over the top or around the back?
Around the back, I think. I've never really given it any thought whatsoever, to be honest.
Like how it hangs.
No, I understand.
Not how you wipe.
No. I understand the technicality, but I on both counts, to be fair, I've never given it any thought. But thinking about it from behind, definitely.
Okay, fine. What kind of sandwich would you be?
What type of sandwich would I make?
Or would you be? If you were a sandwich, what type of sandwich would you be? And I suppose that could just be your favourite sandwich, right?
Well, probably smoked salmon and Philadelphia, to be honest.
Sort of classic.
I like that classic sandwich. I feel like I'm almost being healthy.
I'm not sure it actually is, I think it's probably...
smoked salmon fish is
maybe
quite healthy.
It sort of feels like it is, but maybe, I don't know, it's sat in a room with smoke, covered in smoke, isn't it?
Probably,
but... It's probably a little bit carcinogenic, but it's fine.
Maybe, but
everything is a little bit, isn't it? So, right, well, brilliant. Thank you very much for coming into the studio, and we're... having a little experiment after this, aren't we? So
Look forward to that.
We'll be back shortly for the experiment. So see you shortly.
Thanks, York.